Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. I've got a few fun Christmas crafts for you today. This video I'm joining in with some fun friends. I'll talk about that a little bit later because what are we waiting for? Let's get started. So let's get started with project number 1. For this easy project, I'm using these styrofoam balls from Dollar Tree. They have all sorts of different sizes, and I am putting them on some skewers I had on hand, again from Dollar Tree. You're going to need some water in a water bottle and some kind of like sifter here. And I'm going to be using this snow flock that I got off of Amazon. It's the same kind of stuff they do when they want to flock Christmas trees. Now, I've done cute snowballs before where I use kosher salt and glitter and Mod Podge on there, but I wanted to try this. I like it. You're going to need some kind of container to catch the excess in. I would suggest wearing a mask because it's really fine dust. And what you're going to do is spray your styrofoam ball first. I'm going to do it off to the side. That way any excess snow flock that falls into this box, I can dump it back into the bag. So it's all wet, as you can see. You don't want it dripping, you just want a nice wetness. And then you're just going to kind of sift your snow flock onto the styrofoam ball. And the snow flock does have some glitter in it, so that makes it nice. And then in between coats, you're going to spray it again with water. Again, I'll do that off camera. And then come back in, going to sift it on again, and I actually kind of take this and dump a little bit on in places so it looks a little bit chunky. So you're going to get as many layers on it as you want, get it as snow flocked as you want. I found this process to be totally easy. And then once it's all done, you're going to spray it all again off camera, or I'm going to spray it all off again off camera. You're going to spray it all again with water and just let it set. Now, it took about 3 or 4 hours to completely dry. So while that's drying, we're going to work with the bucket. I've got one of these buckets here that had writing on it like this, and I just took it off with acetone nail polish remover and a cotton pad. Worked nice and easy. So I'm going to add a little bit of kind of rusting to it. So I'm using this Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color chocolate, added a little baking soda to it. I'm going to use this pouncy brush so that when I pounce it on, it kind of leaves that little bit of texture as well. And between that pouncing and the texture of the baking soda, it gives it a really nice effect here. And so, of course, I'll go all around like the lip and the bottom and a little bit on the handles. And you, of course, could skip this part if you want to. Once I've got everything where I like it, I'm going to use my heat tool. I find if I set my heat tool on it just a little bit longer normal, it'll help bubble it up as well and give us this nice little bit of texture here. I think that looks great. I'm also going to be using these little chalkboard stakes from Dollar Tree. Now, I have pre-made my stencil using Cricut Design Space. So it says Glistening Snow Farms, snowballs for sale, 25 cents each. Now, you could use your own handwriting. I like these metallic markers from Dollar Tree versus the chalk markers because they're more bold and they write better. And you have stencils here that you could use if you wanted to paint them on as well. But if you have beautiful handwriting, please write that on there. I just don't have that great. I mean, it's okay, but some people just have this beautiful handwriting. Anyway, you all know how that is. So 25 cents. Now we're coming to this part. I find when I put stencils or vinyl on surfaces like this that are curved, if you kind of slit the transfer sheet around it, you can lay it on better and lay it on more straight. And then I just peel the transfer paper off kind of in little strips. Now I have these rub-on transfers. I think this writing would look really cute, this style of writing for the bucket for Glistening Snow Farms. But whatever, they have so many different rub-on letters there. You could also use stickers, from Dollar Tree to do your titles and your 25 cents. I also have this spray glitter. It's a glitter and sealer in one I get from Walmart. It's about $7 a can. You can't really see it on here, but you'll be able to see it on the little sign a little bit. I like it because it's clear with just that little shimmer of silver. And they have like silver and gold. Never got the gold, but I do like the silver. So now I'm going to use, this is rope I got from Hobby Lobby. It's 6 yards on the spool, and if you wait for everything to go half off, it's only $1 for 6 yards. I'm going to use Beacon Fabri-Tac glue today. I'm just adding a little bit on the end here so it doesn't fray while I wrap it around both handles of our cute little snowball bucket here. And you don't have to do this part. I just thought it would, give it just Really easy, simple, little bit of extra detailing. And just kind of keep wrapping it around the handle here. I just wanted to add a little something more. I don't know, the bucket just seemed a little bit plain. So this is what I came up with. Nice and easy since I'm still kind of one-handed here. 1.5-handed is one of you told me 1.5-handed. It's working though, right? So get it wrapped around to the end, of course, cut off the excess, and then I'll add just a little bit of glue here on the end again to stop it from fraying and get it all the way glued on. And you could use hot glue for this. You don't have to use, Fabri-Tac, but I love Beacon Fabri-Tac glue. I'm going to use a little bit of this black and white checkered ribbon here on my cute little 25-cent sign. Add a little bit of glue just to kind of hold it in place while I tie the bow. Let's relax for a minute as we watch myself tying it. We're still relaxing, right? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Nice and cute. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the snowballs. Now here's what they look like. They're all dried. I think they look great. I think you can even see a little bit of the glitter. Now I'm just going to set these in here, but when you see the final staging, they will be all glued together and I will glue the sign in. But I just kind of wanted to show you what they look like, just kind of set inside from a top view. What I have, about 10 snowballs here. Perfectly cute. I'm trying to set them in so that the hole is down on the bottom. Little sign. And that makes this project complete. Before I get started with project number 2, I'm excited today to be joining in with 4 of my friends here on YouTube for some Christmas inspiration. Crafting Cousins Trish and Kay are the hosts of this Santa Express train. I will have the link in the description box to the playlist as well as pinned in my comments. You can go check out the other channels for some DIY Christmas fun. With that said, let's move on to project number 2. For this project, I'm going to be using this from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take the top off. We're just going to use the base. I'm going to use the circle sign as well. I had my husband cut off one edge to make it straight. You could use foam board for this. I'm going to use these wood planks that run about 3.5 inch by 6 from Dollar Tree, and these wood planks from Hobby Lobby that run about 3 by 4.5 inches. Again, you could use foam board. I am using wood for this part, however. This is just extra wood I have left over. It's about 2 by 6 inches and 2 of those. I'll explain why I use wood later. Going to be using some pieces from Tumbling Tower block game as well as some actual pieces to Jenga game. And air dry clay here, you could use this from Dollar Tree. I am going to use this from Walmart just because it's a little easier and lightweight to handle doing it with one hand only. It's the weirdest stuff when it dries. It's all like squishy and flexible, but it's completely dry. I'm going to be using this wood star for my supply, but you could use these wood stars from Dollar Tree. You could use these snowflakes from Dollar Tree. And then we all have to, in our videos, somewhere in one project, use in part or whole this Dollar Tree Christmas tree. So I'm covering the back completely of my head with cardstock, but the rest of my pieces, all my wood pieces here, you can see I traced around it and then I cut it about, a 1/4 inch shorter all the way around so that you could see the wood around the edges. Just like this, just showing you a few pieces, as well as my little star. See how it's soft and it's light as a feather, flexible. It's weird. It's been dry for 2 days. I traced around it and cut a little piece short. You could use foam board for this as well. Using Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color terracotta for my carrot nose. Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Caviar, which is just a black for all my pieces but 2 remaining, which I'll use Debbie's Design Diary DIY White Swan paint. The 2 remaining is the head and the star. So 2 of my blocks I've got glued together already, just using Dollar Tree wood glue here, gluing 2 sets each, or 2 sets of 2 Jenga blocks each together, just like this, 2 sets. And on my larger wood piece or your larger foam board, if you want to go with that, put my Jenga block. Now I'm just using larger Jenga blocks here, but you could use the small tumbling tower blocks pieces. I've centered it, but from side to side, but edge to edge, I left a little more space on the right side to allow room for the head. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, that way it's all nice and centered on this wood piece here. Going to go ahead and wood glue down these blocks here. Just like this onto our brim. Then we'll wood glue down the other blocks. We're going to turn this smaller rectangle piece upright so it's the hat, and we're going to make sure our wood blocks are at the edge of it. Okay, and then I'm going to start painting all my pieces here, painting these in the black. I'll just show a little bit and then kind of skip ahead for you. I've already as well distressed the edges using the Dollar Tree sanding block. I'll show you that here in just a minute. Here it is, just distressed around the edges. I found the sanding block was easy to hold and use one-handed, of course. Done. Kitty feet, upper right corner. Now I'm going to use the Debbie's Design Diary DIY White Swan chalk paint here. I'm going to paint my star. I'm going to paint the star front and back because I will hang it off the edge of the hat a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and paint around the edges of my snowman head. Again, just need to do the edges because the paper, you know, will not go all the way to the edge except for the back side. Painting my nose here. And again, can't stress it enough, you could use foam board for all of this if you want. I think that wood circle is about 8 inches all the way around if you choose to cut your own, you know, out of foam board. I like to sew around all my pieces. Those of you who might be new to my channel, I will sew directly on paper just like it's fabric. My machine likes all polyester thread. I found a size 10 or 11 needle depending on the brand works best. Stitch length is 4 and my tension set on 4. This is what it looks like. You could skip this step, of course. I just like that little subtle detailing. And then I'll take the open end of my scissor blades to all my paper pieces and I'll scrape along the edges. And it just kind of distresses the edges, rips them up a little bit, adds that little bit of edging there. I'll show you here what it looks like with and without. I'll bring the other paper up here. There you go. So you can decide which way you like it. And if you want to, you know, spend your time doing it. It's just personal preference. So we're going to start gluing the pieces on here. Everything all glued together. Got my backside, and I've marked there on the backside where I'll end up gluing that stand to. And I think I do that off camera, and I believe, I don't know where that footage went, but I glue that stand off camera onto the back, and I just use Gorilla Glue. You could use like E6000, so nice and easy. Gluing my pieces, yes, even on the underside, I traced where those blocks were. You could totally skip doing that part, but I want it to look finished. Because I'm selling this at a Christmas show. So I'm adding a little glue to the top of the straight edge on the head and to the side of this block, the side that's got a little more room on the wood. Remember, I left a little room on that side. That way that wood piece is centered on that head. And then I'm adding a little bit of glue to the bottom of the hat part here, the tall part of the hat, measuring it so it looks centered. Here's what it looks like. Let that sit up for a while. So I've got a rusty safety pin and bell here. I've rusted these myself. I will have a link in the description box below for you. I put out a tutorial a couple of years ago. Easy to do with normal household supplies. And I like to, you know, just kind of rust a bunch of stuff at once. So again, link will be in the description box. I'm going to go ahead and glue this ensemble onto my wood star. And then got my paper glued onto my little carrot nose. I've got these pine cones from Dollar Tree. I've got some other stuff we just got in this year. So super excited. They had 3 left of these. I grabbed them up. They are beautiful. Most of the time their greenery like this looks plasticky, but these are beautiful. They only had 1 of these. I'm bummed. I will use it very sparingly. Maybe they'll get some more in. I've got this pick of bells and pip berries I get from Joann's. And then these are my favorite beaded berries I get from Hobby Lobby, $1.99. I'll usually wait for them to go on sale and buy about a dozen at a time. And then everybody in our little party express train today had to use this Christmas tree in one form or another, as I said earlier. I covered it with that snow flocking. I cut pieces off of it. I don't like the green color on there. It looks fake and yucky, so I completely covered it with snow flocking. Now you can't even tell. Covers that color up beautifully. I'm just going to use a few pieces here. They said in whole or part, and I did my part. I cut it up. So we're going to go around the front and a little bit onto, I tend to like decorate onto the left side when I'm doing these things. I'm going to go around the back a little bit as well. I want it finished off. Just adding bunches of different greenery picks and stuff here, including the ones I showed you from Dollar Tree. Love how this is turning out. This is what it looks like. Adding in my favorite beaded berries. These aren't pit berries. My favorite beaded berries. Oh my gosh, I can so talk today, you guys. Adding in some of this Dollar Tree. Love this. It just adds such a kind of whimsical, soft touch to it. Sorry, splint in the way. Here's what it's looking like. We're going to move around to the back side now. I'm going to go ahead and cover up these tumbling tower block pieces just a little bit more since I am selling this. And I haven't decided on a price yet. If any of you have any ideas, please let me know. I just can't decide. What would you all pay for this? Adding some pine cones, a little bit more of this pretty Dollar Tree glittery garland, glittery pieces. Adding some other greenery in here, just kind of covering it all up. Y'all know how I like to use bits and pieces of things when I'm doing stuff like this. Going to add in some more beaded berries on this side so it looks cohesive with the front. I'm going to add in some of these rusty snowflakes. I get these at Hobby Lobby. They're actually in the mini ornament section at Hobby Lobby, and I just wait for them to go on sale like 40% off, and I buy about 6 packages. I'm just going to kind of tuck it into the greenery there, add a few more of the beaded berries, and then we'll go back around to the front. Looks very pretty, nice and finished. Moving back around to this side. I think that snow-flocked Christmas tree works great. It adds a nice little base, right? Adding in some of those mini bells. Some more of this. Just trying to make the front just look as cohesive as the back. So I'm adding the same kind of pieces of greenery and stuff that I did to the back side. So it looks all matchy-matchy. Adding in another little rusty snowflake. And that'll kind of help bring in that rusty safety pin and bell that's on the little star that we'll be gluing on in a moment. Adding a few more of the pine cones. Want it all to come together. This project was really fun and easy to do. And then adding in my star. Now you know I painted the backside. I'm going to let it hang off just a little bit. And then I've got this red and white twine I get at Hobby Lobby, so I'm just kind of tucking that into the pine cones. We'll go to work on the face here. I'm going to add in my nose. And then I have these black beaded berries I got at Dollar Tree, and I just painted them with matte black. I didn't want them shiny. Use those for my eyes. I couldn't think of anything I wanted to use for the mouth. I was going to do buttons painted in black, didn't like it, so I'm just going to have eyes and a nose on my little snowman. Here's my sign. Again, use Cricut Design Space. You could use these rub-on letters. I think this actual font would look really cute with this snowman here. Baby, It's Cold Outside, done in Chrismaster and Coffee and Tea demo fonts. I'll have the list. I don't think I said the other fonts in the first project, but I'll have them listed, everything down in my description box below. And here's why I use wood for the front and back and 2 pieces. What I'll do is I'll put on either side of those little wood pieces there, I will glue them together. And the heaviness of both pieces of wood will help offset the heaviness on the hat so that the snowman doesn't keep tipping forward. Okay, so I've got a little bow here, and I'm going to glue that on. And when that's done off camera, I will spray glitter this. And then once I get this on and it's spray glittered, this project is complete. So I really hope you like the projects that I came up with today. Leave me a comment down below and let me know which one was your favorite. And if you think about it, I don't know why I just cannot come up with a decent price for this cute little snowman. Leave me that as part of your comment and let me know what would you pay for it at a craft bazaar. Please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel and you like what you saw here today, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on a single video from me. Remember, I will have the link to the Santa Express Train playlist in my description box, as well as pinned in my comments, where you can go check out more Christmas DIY inspiration. Before I go, I'm going to leave you with one final thought. God sees the potential in us that we don't see. Ask yourself, am I reaching that potential? Don't settle for doing as little as possible. Don't settle for the mundane. There's more to life than that. God put you on this earth to achieve great things, to reach for the impossible, to strive for the miraculous. He has given you great potential and all the necessary tools to achieve what He has set out for you to do. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.